Welcome to Business Insights with Osayi Tres Omokaro, the one and only free business consultancy live radio podcast from Benin to the world. We have only one vision: to ensure that startup founders and MSMEs do business professionally and make positive and profitable impacts. Sit tight and enjoy today's episode.
Viewers, listeners, wherever you're joining us from, it's me again, Osayi Tres Omokaro, on Business Insights with Osayi Tres Omokaro. If you're joining us live from Vibes FM 97.3, please, as you listen, just put down your question. You can send it to us via SMS or call in when the phone lines are open. If you're joining us on Instagram at Treskaro, simply just drop your questions on the comment section and we will be handling it. You're welcome to today's episode. Today we are dealing on understanding the concept of entrepreneurship. You know, when people talk about the word entrepreneurship, people simply just think about having your own business and employing yourself where nobody is paying you. But today we're going to demystify that. We're going to look at what entrepreneurship is, what entrepreneurship is not, and how to tune your mind to be a successful entrepreneur. Because our goal is to ensure that entrepreneurs, MSMEs, startup founders are able to do business professionally when so they are able to make positive and profitable impact. We emphasize the word profitable impact because it's not enough to make impact while you are broke. So you must be able to make impact profitably. Of course, the lines to send your SMS or WhatsApp to is 070-8544-7462 or 0818-288-4091. For now, all you can do is to send in SMS or send in WhatsApp messages. As time goes on, we're going to open the phone line for you to call in. First, let's begin by defining entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a process of creating, developing, and managing a business venture to make a profit. You know, if while we were in school, we were taught the various factors of production. We had to do with land, capital. Of course, entrepreneurship is the one who coordinates all of this. So, and the entrepreneur is that person that manages the risk, engaging capital, engaging land. Of course, today we can say that entrepreneurship, the factors of production may not likely include land because you actually can be a great entrepreneur virtually, not necessarily owning an office. So an entrepreneur is that person that is able to identify and pursue opportunities in the marketplace. As we go further, we're going to be looking at the mindset of an entrepreneur. But first of all, we must understand that entrepreneurship is not a get-rich-quick program. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Don't delude yourself thinking, I can pull out from my existing job, start my own business, and make all the money within a short time. It is possible, but it is not always the case. So, entrepreneurship is not a get-rich-quick scheme, nor is entrepreneurship an easy path to success. It is not. First, I know if I don't debunk your mind, you will think that entrepreneurship is the quickest way and easiest way to making money. Yes, you could, but it is not as easy as people will always say. Then entrepreneurship is not limited to any sector. Because if you look at the tech space today, particularly in Nigeria, the impact that is happening financially and all of that, people tend to want to believe that when I think entrepreneurship, I should be thinking technology. Of course, technology has its parts, but entrepreneurship is not limited to technology. You know, entrepreneurship is not about making money alone. while entrepreneurship can be a pathway to financial success, it's not solely focused on making money. Successful entrepreneurs are often driven by desire to create an impact. Successful entrepreneurs are mainly driven by that desire to create an impact that is beyond money. But the way the world works is that the more problem you are able to solve, the more impact you are able to make, the system has a way of rewarding you. That's why it looks like entrepreneurs who are making tremendous impact are making good money. So don't jump into entrepreneurship because you see people making money. There's a whole lot that goes on in that space. Then entrepreneurship is not easy. Put that off your mind. Truth is, anything that we end up successful doesn't possibly come easily. Have that at the back of your mind. If I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I am ready to put in the work. I am ready to put in the work. You can't put in the work, please get a job somewhere and contribute to the development of the society by just simply working for somebody. Then entrepreneurship, I already talked about that. It's not just about the tech space. Then entrepreneurship is not a solo endeavor. For you to really, for me, I would say for you to say that I'm an entrepreneur, you must be that person that has been able to build a system around the solution that you are building. And that system involves you getting to hire people and be able to manage a team. You can't truly call yourself an entrepreneur if you cannot travel out of that business for a minimum of 30 to 90 days and the business still runs without you. If you are not there yet, yes, let that be the focus. Until you are able to achieve that, you are not yet a successful entrepreneur. At best, you're just self-employed. You know, in my word, I call that owning a job. What do I mean by that? Instead of you having a job and working somewhere, this time around, you own the job, you pay yourself, but you are running solo. If you notice, you are busier. Every other aspect of your life is practically struggling, but yet you most likely are not making the money. So these are the few things I just want to share about what entrepreneurship is not. In wrapping up what entrepreneurship is not, I will also say that entrepreneurship is not just about having a good idea. It starts from there, but it doesn't end there. Entrepreneurship includes solid business planning, includes execution skills, the ability to identify and solve problems, building a good customer base, managing finances, and managing a team. These are critical components of entrepreneurship that anybody that aspires to be an entrepreneur must endeavor to take on. So, in going forward, who is an entrepreneur? Who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is someone who has a vision and is willing to take the risk to run that vision into a reality. A lot of people have thoughts, have ideas. The very first impediment they meet, they push back. That's why we started by talking about access to funding. Because in our working with entrepreneurs, startup founders, people with innovative ideas, the very first challenge they tell you they are facing is lack of money. But I think if you're listening to us now and you have that same challenge, you are not alone in this trail. But what you have to do is get back on our Instagram handle at Treskaro, or follow us on YouTube. Go back and watch the series we have taken on overcoming business challenges, where we talked about access to finance. You know, we dealt extensively about that. So let's begin to look at the mindset of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone who finds it very easy to embrace failure. You know, in entrepreneurship, you don't fail. You either win or you learn. If you are not somebody who can face life with that disposition of embracing failure, obviously entrepreneurship is not for you. You know, failure is not failure, of course, for me, is a natural part of a journey of life. So if you are one who is afraid of failing, entrepreneurship may not be a game for you. An entrepreneur understands that failing is a feedback. failing is a feedback. It's a comma, not a full stop. It means the way you have gone about it is not the best way to go about it. So you are thinking of what's the best way to go about it. Entrepreneurs are always thinking of alternatives. Then secondly, an entrepreneur takes risk, but this time around, calculated risk. You don't jump into something because you see other people doing it. And that's not to say that because it's new and nobody is doing it, you leap into it. That's why there's a lot of training, there's a lot of background capacity development required before you jump into entrepreneurship. Then an entrepreneur is someone who is adaptable. I just want to share this example, even though I don't want to dilute the fact that people are going through a lot with this cash shortage in our society for us in Nigeria. But I had this experience recently. My wife wanted to buy something, and because of the demand for cash, I was able to give her a certain amount because we wanted to just stay within that because we didn't have enough cash. But she got there and she was patronizing a malam. In the course of patronizing, she realized that this malam was accepting transfers. She called me and said, "This guy accepts transfer. I'm going to send you his account number." Then we bought 300% of the amount of what we were supposed to spend with that malam. I call that, for me, adaptability. And meanwhile, I see a picture somewhere on somebody's status captioning a man who was selling yams, making it look like the man was stranded. The people that are supposed to patronize him don't have cash. The man does not have a bank account. And I said, who are we to blame? And the person started mentioning names of people in government and all of that. That's not an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur may encounter challenges they never planned for, but they adapt very easily. So if you are not someone who can easily adapt to challenges, you're going to go backward when you have challenges. Life is actually about challenges, overcoming challenges. The most prosperous people are people who are overcoming more challenges than others. An entrepreneur sees every problem as an opportunity to make money. Like I will always say, money is a reward for solving a problem. So the best place to make more money is a place that has a lot of problems. These are the mindsets of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone who is persistent. Building a successful business takes time, effort, and is important to stay the course. If you can't stay the course, you're going to run back. It's pathetic for those of us in Nigeria. A lot of things are not yet in place. I'm not going to tell you that it's easy doing business here, but I have a concept that works for me. If 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 persons are having a challenge and one person is able to solve it, the rest of us do not have an excuse. If people are doing business in Nigeria and they are succeeding, I believe my excuse is invalid if I am not succeeding, because there is something they know that I don't know, that if I am able to learn, I should be able to succeed like they are succeeding. Then entrepreneurs focus on customers. The reason you are in business primarily is customer acquisition. If you can't get the customers, irrespective of the quality of your products, irrespective of the quantity you produce, if the people are not patronizing you, you are not in business. Before I continue, I have a question from Media Solution. He said, entrepreneurs who work around the clock and still make few income monthly, what does it need to balance that, sir? Okay, this person sent their message from Instagram. An entrepreneur who works round the clock but still make very little income, what does it do to balance that? First, I'm sure before you decided that you're an entrepreneur, you already have a solution that the world needs. But there's a mistake I see a lot of entrepreneurs make. Is the fact that a lot of us do not even have a budget for marketing. Like I said, an entrepreneur focuses on customer acquisition, because the goal of your business, first, is to acquire customers, serve these customers with value, then you are able to make money in return for serving those customers. But take a look, media solution, take a look at all you do. Ask yourself, how much do I have as a budget for marketing? Yes, it's not enough to post on a regular basis on social media. It starts from there. But you understand that the social media algorithm only allows you reach out to people that are not within your space already when you do promotional posts. So your post on social media needs to be promoted, and in promoting, then you pay for it. So put a budget down on marketing. Ensure that you have a budget for marketing. Then while you do that, seek for help. Sit down under a mentor. Sit down under a coach. Because one of the reasons a lot of people jump into entrepreneurship is that seeming freedom. I'm not under anybody. I can do what I like, when I like, and how I like. But the truth is, not so many of us are disciplined enough to succeed living life like that. So when you sit under a coach or a mentor, what you're doing is that you have someone you can share thoughts with, or you can bounce off your ideas with before you implement. Someone who can also hold you accountable to the things you have said you want to do. I'm sure with these few points, I've been able to answer your question. But if it's not clear enough or you need further clarification, please just reach out to us through the phone numbers that have been shared, or follow us on Instagram. Let's take it further from there. Yeah, in wrapping up, I use the word that entrepreneurship is not just about having a good idea. Entrepreneurship actually starts with a solid business plan. A solid business plan. One of the things a business plan does for you is the fact that it helps you validate the feasibility of that idea even before you start. I remember having the privilege of attending a session in Enterprise Development Center of Lagos Business School, sponsored by a particular program. And at the end of that program, the idea that took me there required that we submit a business plan. When I was done submitting my business plan, when I was done developing my business plan, as I began to analyze the competition, I realized that the way I have the idea, if I'm going to hit the market like that, I will be crushed by competition. That session I attended required that we make an application for a 10 million naira loan. I think it was a loan, I can't remember. Because I was done with my business plan, I didn't apply for that money. Because I look at myself, do I have what it takes to face the competition? These are things that a lot of us have not done because we've not taken time to build a business plan. But because maybe you have the capacity to develop that product, or because you assume that if this product is this good, the people will want it now, you jump out and now you are struggling. So business planning will help a lot. Then market research. You need to research, you need to hear. I have a book I titled Choosing a Profitable Business Idea. Then I have another one, From Idea to Market. What this book does is that it chronicles the process you should take an idea through before you are certain that this idea will hit the market and I'll be successful. I think with this we'll come to the end of today's session. Please feel free to follow us on Instagram at Treskaro. Reach out to us on the phone numbers that have been shared, 0818-288-4091 or 070-8544-7462.